LeBron's still going, so we'll see. I don't think
We're
discussion's
not
over
saying
yet.
that
But in
LeBron.
this particular argument,
I'm not saying he's not clutch.
The only thing I
Yeah.
want to point out, y'all talk about Kobe, these guys. Those guys love to shoot those shots.
Right.
Their percentages on making those shots are not quite as good as you might remember.
We're not knocking LeBron at all. He is clutch. But as
the numbers
Tracy
say that he has done
said,
it more often than Jordan.
Yes,
So
but
how do you
that's just
argue with
saying
that?
he's been in a lot of close games.
Yeah.
That's not something that you should be appraising him for being in close games.
all that's
I like
saying.
winning games by 10. I don't like clutch games. So, but
amen.
in saying what Tracy is saying is that LeBron is not the guy that wants to take that last shot. That's not how he plays the game.
We
He
seen it
plays the
last
game
night,
the
Tracy.
right
He's
way.
done it more than the other guy on that side of your screen, and his percentage of making it is now it's just a hair, but it is
He's probably
higher.
gonna see it a lot more if he keep playing. I mean, he's gonna eat up every stat there is in
Yes,
the book.
but this isn't just a volume stat. It is
had
at least
more
right now a
opportunities, right?
comparable
Exactly.
but the shooting percentage again. I am not. This is not the grounds to say that LeBron is better than Michael Jordan because it's just one category.
And we're not
But-
saying that he's not clutch.
Right.
I'm just saying his first thought is, I'm going to make the right basketball play, and that's what he almost did it last night.
Well,
Passed the
that,
ball
yes.
in the corner. Like those guys are not doing that.
Right,
when
right.
the game is on the line.
It's all true, but again, one of the things we remember Michael for, and you from court on the court, you from 3 feet away, are those amazing shots, right? I mean,
Right.
Ty Lue said last night at the end of the press conference, and I don't know how much of TV caught it because it was like as he was standing up, and so you had to keep rolling the tape. He goes, "That looks like Jordan's shot over Elo. That felt like the same thing to me."
Not saying LeBron isn't clutch.
Right.
I just think there are guys I could put ahead of LeBron when it comes to clutch. Michael Jordan, obviously the number one guy, but I even go as Reggie Miller. I go Paul Pierce clutch.
Joe Johnson.
Joe Johnson was extremely clutch. Reason being is LeBron first thought is, I'm going to make the right basketball play.
Right.
Right.
Which, by the way, is part of being clutch, but yes. To your
Well-
point about that you wouldn't say he's not.
Right. We're talking about making this shot. And I think LeBron's mentality is, I'm going to make the right basketball play, whereas those guys, even Kobe, I'm sorry, Kobe.
Yeah. Excuse us, Kobe.
I apologize.
My God, please.
But these guys are fixated on, I'm taking a shot, not
Right.
looking to pass. Like they're looking to make that shot. They're not looking to pass.
Okay, but here's the thing, and by the way, I am still, and I get on TV all the time and say, to me, Michael Jordan is still the best basketball player that ever lived. So I'm not making the argument like, oh, it's suddenly LeBron.
Right.
Now I think LeBron's still going, so we'll see. I don't think
We're
discussion's
not
over
saying
yet.
that
But in
LeBron.
this particular argument,
I'm not saying he's
the
not
only
clutch.
thing I
Yeah.
want to point out, y'all talk about Kobe, these guys. Those guys love to shoot those shots.
Right.
Their percentages on making those shots are
Right.
not quite as good as you might
We're
remember.
not knocking LeBron at all. He is clutch. But as
But the numbers
Tracy
say that he has done
said,
it more
I'm
often
gonna
than
do this
Jordan.
real quick before I get back to some things I gotta take care of. Now, when you compare the greatest of all time, it's a lot of GOATs. It's a lot of GOATs, but then you have a person, the GOAT of all GOATs, the number one on that ranking list, and the biggest knock that people try to make when you compare the GOATs is the clutch gene, clutch factor. Now you see Rachel, she brought this out and she showed that the numbers actually show that LeBron is more clutch than Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan. And when you talk about Kobe Bryant, a lot of people may say he's top 5, top 3 all time. It's not a lot that supports him being top 3 or even top 5. When you talk about overall career-wise, overall performance, all that stuff, you bring all of it into the picture, and he's barely cracking that top 10. If you want to be honest, and this is coming from a Laker fan, this is coming from a Kobe fan. But I'm a fan of the sport before I'm a fan of the team, before I'm a fan of the player. So I'm going to bring you the facts, and I'm going to keep it 100 and keep my feelings out of it. It's always facts over feelings. Leave your emotions at the door. So when we talk about being clutch, it's no way in hell you can say LeBron's not clutch when the numbers actually proves that he's clutch. And then you got people say, oh, the eye test, the eye test. The eye test is along with the stats. You can't get the stats without going out there and actually playing. So I don't see why people say that part, like the eye test. Yes, the eye test is a big test. It's a big part of it. But the stats is consistent with the eye test because you got to go out there and perform. You got to go out there and make those shots to get the stats. And I don't like comparing errors because LeBron and MJ played in a totally different era. LeBron playing in an era where zone defense is allowed, positionless basketball, and MJ played in an era where you got the hand checking and it wasn't no zone defense and positionless basketball. But we also know at that time that Pippen was able to guard 1 through 5 and MJ wasn't. And Pippen also played the Klay Thompson role for Steph Curry. That's what Pippen did for MJ. The toughest guy on that floor, Pippen got him. MJ, you do your thing on the offense. We all know this. And if you're old enough to watch MJ, you know this is what you seen when you seen the Bulls play. Now, it's funny how T-Mac and Pippen, they switched their tune once the numbers came out. And they like, well, we're not saying he's not clutch. I'm just saying, like, you toting these stats, like, that just means he was in a lot of close games. Clutch is clutch. It doesn't matter if you're in a close game or if you blowing the team out. Why is you saying MJ is clutch? That's like saying nobody is clutch or being clutch isn't even nothing good because that means you had to be in a close game. So why would you run around saying MJ is clutch or Kobe is clutch when that just means they was in close games? You see how people step on their own toes. And I know I sound terrible right now. I'm a little sick. I can hear it in my voice. I ain't hear it at first, and somebody told me I sound a little sick. I ain't got the Rona. Calm down. Calm down. I'm all right. Just some other stuff going on. But anyway. But people step on their own toes when they do that. Like, why would you say that? Because now you say, oh, that just means he been in a lot of close games. I like blowing teams out. All right, but you said MJ is clutch. So that means MJ was in a lot of clutch games to get that award from you that he's the most clutch player, right? But come to find out, he's not. And you found a player that's actually more clutch than him, and now you got to tear him down. See, this is what I don't like when you compare errors. Because a lot of players, a lot of people, you have to tear down another player to big up the player that you favor. That's wrong. That's wrong. That's not what this sport is about. Now, when you compare the three, and I'm working on a video right now. I'm sorry, I've been slacking. It's a lot of shit going on, man. But I got you. It's coming. I'm doing the verses now. Kobe versus LeBron. Kobe versus MJ. LeBron versus KD. Steph versus what's his name? James Hud. And I'm working on them. They coming. I'm doing all verses now up until the NBA restarts. The NBA supposed to start the 22nd of next month. I got you. I'm bringing it to you. I'm bringing in scenarios as far as the trades and free agencies. I'm coming with it. I'm coming. But this is just a little preview into what I'm trying to break down when it comes to comparing errors and comparing players. Because, one, your competition matters. And when we talk about the three, LeBron, Kobe, and MJ, I believe Kobe played against the most competition out of the three. Because, one, Kobe played in both eras. Two, Kobe had to go against all those teams, those multiple teams with multiple All-Stars. Also, Kobe did have those teams with multiple All-Stars. People forget the time when the Lakers had 4 All-Stars. What this was like 1997, 98. And then 99, yeah, we had multiple All-Stars. And the year before, we traded the All-Star to get another All-Star, and that left us with 4 All-Stars, and we got the ring the next year. All right. But when you compare these players, you have to factor in the rules of the game. And that's why I say it's called to compare errors, because the rules changes. The teams ain't even the same. Because only one player had to deal with both hand checking and the zone defense, and that was Kobe Bryant. But when you also compare these players, do we give them credit for the times that they was playing as the sidekick or the Robin? Do they get more credit for that? Because I know one thing, if LeBron would have won a ring as a sidekick, we would say, well, he wasn't that guy on that team. Yeah, he got a ring, but it was because of so-and-so. He just was the backup. So do we give the other man credit because we like him more than the other man for being a sidekick? Think about that. But comparing these 3 players, like I said, is actually just 3 players at the top of that mountain. Some people would say just 2. I believe Kareem is the GOAT. Feel how you want to feel. Don't at me. But I believe Kareem is the GOAT. And there's a lot that factors in for me saying he's the GOAT. Rings, MVPs, competition, all that stuff come into play when I say Kareem is the GOAT. The stats, milestones, accolades, he got it all. Far as like he got it at a high level, because all of them got it. Far as MJ and LeBron, they both got it also. But Kareem is more believable. It's more convincing. But I'm coming to you with it. LeBron versus MJ versus Kobe. Who is the greatest? And I'm telling you, I got a good one for you. But I can guarantee you that LeBron is blowing most of these players that you want to talk about out of the conversation. So I'm going to bring you the rules of the eras, the teams, and I'm going to give you their accolades. LeBron just got his 4th ring. If anybody feels as though he's not making a case, you're crazy. You're just being biased. Let's just be real about this whole conversation. Me personally, I do have MJ ranked against a hit of LeBron. But is that changing? It's possible that might have changed, and I can explain. But one thing's for certain. LeBron is the greatest of this era right now, and it's not even close. KD is nowhere near him. Kawhi is nowhere near him. It's not a player you can find playing basketball right now that's anywhere near LeBron. I don't want to hear KD coming back this year or Kawhi learn his lesson. Y'all said that last year. As far as KD, he hasn't proved that he's that number 1 guy that can lead a team to a championship yet. He got 2 bandwagon rings. I don't want to hear shit about his finals MVPs. Yeah, he got them. You can't take that away from him. He got them. But it was bandwagon. It was bandwagon. Let's just be 100. Let's say LeBron would have got some bandwagon rings. Come on, bro. Like, you already know how y'all would fry him. So I can't give KD that credit yet until if he take Brooklyn to the finals and win, then we can have that discussion. Until then, cut that shit out, bro. I'm on to the next one.